Alright, Shalom. First, let's start by saying our praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. As you can see, the title of this video is Putin Puts Russia's Nuclear Weapons on High Alert from the BBC News. Now, this was 2 weeks ago. I meant to do this back then, but I'm getting to it now. But nothing has changed. Eventually, there is going to be eventually these nuclear missiles are going to be shot off, because it's Bible prophecy. And slacking. And it ain't nothing no one can do to stop it. Ain't no protest that you can do. You can't poison Putin or any other president for that matter. You can't stop what's coming because it's Bible prophecy, man. So give me 1 second. What's going to happen is, while these nations are fighting during the Battle of Armageddon or the Battle of Jehoshaphat, in the midst of their fighting, they're going to stop fighting to fight against Yahushai. Hence, eventually the nuclear missiles are going to be shot off from the Lord. The Lord going to control them. And in this clip, they're going to let you know, I think they said that one of Vladimir Putin's nuclear subs holds 500 missiles, something to that effect, And the scriptures say that 200 million nuclear missiles are going to hit this place, man. So it eventually going to add up, because not only is Russia going to shoot missiles, but the other nations are eventually going to shoot missiles on America also, because they're getting tired of America BS. So give me 1 second. Alright, this is Revelation chapter 11 verse 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Now, all that's speaking on is the third world war comes quickly, because the second world war had already passed, and the third world war ain't come too much further behind. So, which is the Battle of Armageddon, according to the Bible. Let me get that. This Revelation chapter 16. Hold on, give me 1 second. This Revelation chapter 16, verse 15. It says, Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garment. Right, to watch means to be watching the news, like catching video clips like this before they eventually cut the internet off or stop, a lot of these news channels from speaking. Cut these news channels off like they have done to the Russian news channel in these other countries. But it says, Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. His garment represents the truth. Lest he walk naked, meaning he don't have the truth, and they see his shame. And your shame is you not having the truth with all this prophecy going on. And he gathered them together into a place called in Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Armageddon is the Hebrew word Harmageddon, which means mountain of troops, and that's taking place in the Middle East. Alright, so I'm going to play this clip.
President Putin has ordered Russia's strategic nuclear forces to be placed on high alert. He says Western leaders have made aggressive statements about Russia, and he also says that international sanctions are illegitimate. Boris Johnson has described the move as a distraction from the reality of what's going on here in Ukraine, while the US denounced it as completely unacceptable. Here's our Moscow correspondent, Steve Rosenberg.
From the Kremlin, a pointed message to the West. Don't push Russia. President Putin summoned his military chiefs and gave them an order.
Top officials of leading NATO countries are making aggressive statements about our country. Therefore, I'm ordering the Minister of Defense and the Chief of the General Staff to put the strategic nuclear forces on special alert.
Would Putin really use them? He practiced a week ago, overseeing exercises of Russia's strategic deterrence forces. Typically unsubtle hints to America and NATO not to stand in his way over Ukraine. Today's special alert, more presidential muscle flexing. Across from the Kremlin, Muscovites gathered on a bridge to remember Boris Nemtsov, the Putin critic gunned down right here 7 years ago. For Vladimir Kara-Murza, this was a day for remembering a friend and for condemning the war.
This is not Russia's war. This is not a war by the Russian people and the Ukrainian people. This is yet another military adventure, military crime by an unelected, unaccountable, authoritarian, and frankly, increasingly deranged dictator in the Kremlin by the name of Vladimir Putin.
You won't hear anything like that on Russian state TV. It's been claiming that Russian troops are liberating eastern Ukraine and that Moscow is using force in the interests of peace. In Russia, television remains the key tool for shaping public opinion. So, if you control TV, as the Kremlin does, you control the messaging. But not 100%, because today many Russians do get their news and information online, and there they see a very different picture. So if you use the words attack, invasion, or war,
we can say only special operation.
Yevgeny Albats edits an online magazine. Like other independent Russian media, the authorities have banned it from calling this a war. What is the Kremlin trying to do to the truth now in Russia?
What they always do. They always turn truth into lies. They lie. They just lie.
Censorship at home. War abroad. Yes, war in Ukraine, and now Russia's nuclear forces on special alert. Tonight, Russian state TV announced our submarines alone are capable of launching more than 500 nuclear warheads, guaranteed to destroy America and all of NATO. So what is this? Brinkmanship? Something more? War abroad. Yes, war in Ukraine, and now Russia's nuclear forces on special alert. Tonight, Russian state TV announced our submarines alone are capable of launching more than 500 nuclear warheads, guaranteed to destroy America and all of NATO. So what is this? Brinkmanship? Something more? Or something less? Empty threats? But I think after the dramatic events we've seen in recent days, it would be unwise to
Right, man, and eventually, the Lord gonna have Russia shoot his missiles on America, on Israel, They said more than 500 per submarine, and that's just a submarine. They didn't mention the trains, the ones that's on land, This is Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 1. It says, "Therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog," talking about the Russians, "O chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and leave but the sixth part of thee," right? Only a sixth of Russia's army is going to be left in his land. The rest of his army is going to get involved in this battle of Armageddon. "I will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel," right? Because they're going to go to war against Israel also. "And I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and will cause thine arrows to fall out of thy right hand," meaning they're not going to have control of their nuclear missiles once they're being shot. The Lord is going to take control of the missiles. "Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy bands, and the people that is with thee. I will give thee unto the ravenous birds of every sort, and to the beasts of the field to be devoured. Thou shalt fall upon the open field, for I have spoken it, said the Lord Yahweh. I will send fire, and I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am the Lord." Right, so eventually Russia going to get hit by nuclear missiles also.
Miss these signals from the Kremlin, but of course, for the international community, that leaves a very difficult question: how to react to them.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Steve Rosenberg in Moscow. Well, our North America editor, Sarah Smith, is in Washington for us. Sarah, what's been the response to the suggestion that President Putin is putting his nuclear arsenal on standby?
Well, of course, people here are very worried about it, both those at this pro-Ukrainian demonstration outside the White House and inside the White House. They're describing this as unprovoked escalation that is positively dangerous. I have to say, this announcement came as a complete shock to the United States, where the administration here learned about it only as Putin made that announcement publicly. And what senior officials in the Pentagon are warning is that by invoking the use of potentially using nuclear weapons, Putin is raising the chances of a miscalculation that could make the situation much more dangerous. They're also really quite concerned about the tactics they're seeing already being deployed on the ground in Ukraine. They believe that Russia will attempt to isolate and lay siege to the capital, Kiev, and that will, of course, vastly increase the risks of civilian deaths and casualties. One other thing, the UN is going to hold an emergency special session tomorrow to vote on a resolution condemning Russia. And to give you an idea of the significance of that, they've had only 10 similar sessions since 1950.
Okay, Sarah, thank you for that. Sarah Smith there, live in Washington.
Welcome to Steady. My name is Shaquille O'Neal. If you're looking for a job, you've come to the right place. It's easy, it's free, and we'll never sell you information. That's
The capital, Kiev, has seen heavy bombardment.
Salakia. This is Jeremiah 51:1. It says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon, America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind, that's talking about the nuclear wind. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Right, talking about the nuclear missiles, man. So I'm not going to drag this out too much longer. With that being said, call law, Yahweh Shema Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well. And salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.